So this July, the United States will reclaim its position at UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Is this a good piece of news or not? Of course, it's not. Let's remember why the United States left UNESCO in the first place. First, it was in 2011 when UNESCO allowed Palestine as a member. Back then, the Obama administration decided withholding funds that the United States owed to UNESCO. Israel, of course, did the same thing. In 2017, the Trump administration pulled out of UNESCO altogether, again citing anti-Israel bias and that sort of thing. Now, it's interesting that the Americans want to be back, and they are paying over $600 million of their dues back to the organization. But if you look at the official narrative coming from Washington, specifically in the letter that was sent to UNESCO to restate American membership, you will worry, and I am very worried. For example, they are citing the fact that UNESCO has been avoiding political debates on the Middle East. The US does not want UNESCO to be part of any political conversation, rather, regarding Palestine. Far from it. They want to focus on any issue that does not in any way hold Israel morally or legally accountable to international law. The other kind of political discourse that has been discussed in various newspapers, including Axios among others, is that the US wants to go there to balance out the growing influence of China in the Middle East. And per American statements, by the US official statements, they're saying that they want to bring back American vision of freedom. I'm sorry, did you say American vision for freedom? What freedom? In the very Middle East that we're all familiar with? The freedom that the Iraqis are enjoying because of the American military wars and interventions? The freedom in Libya or Syria or Yemen, and certainly not in Palestine? How about the freedom in Afghanistan? So what is it that the American vision for freedom refers to? And to balance out Chinese influence, China has not invaded any Middle Eastern countries, not to my knowledge. And I don't think even ancient China has invaded the Middle East. So what is it that you're trying to balance out? To the contrary, China has actually built over 1,000 schools in Iraq. If you do the math, most likely you're going to find out that American bombs throughout the years have destroyed more than 1,000 schools in Iraq. So you are balancing out the wrong party here. You are engaging in the wrong type of war. The Middle East does not want American vision for freedom. They want the exact opposite. Whatever that vision for freedom that the Americans have brought to the Middle East, we want them to package it, put it in a box, and ship it back to Washington. We want the kind of relationships and diplomatic ties and cultural exchanges that are going to empower our people, that are going to benefit our people, that are going to bring real developments and educational institutions, cultural exchanges, scientific cooperation. That's what the Middle East wants. And that's what UNESCO is all about, by the way. But if you read any of the American official statements that came out since they decided to go back to UNESCO, they're not making any reference to any of these things. Well, now UNESCO is learning to behave itself, and they're not going to be talking politics, and they're going to take it easy on Israel. And by the way, if they do admit Palestine as a full member, automatically we are going to pull out. That's not my words. That's the U.S. congressional bill that was passed and preconditioned American membership in UNESCO based on the fact that Palestine can never be a full member. It will expire in 2025, the American bill, and once it expires, the Americans will reassess. Did UNESCO learn to behave itself or not? That's not the kind of engagement that UNESCO wants. And I'm frankly a bit surprised that some officials in UNESCO are playing along and are welcoming to the American move. The American move is very condescending, patronizing, and conditional. And it violates the very spirit of UNESCO and similar organizations. So let's deal with this issue not as a positive improvement by the Biden administration, but rather as another American ploy. They realize that they are far more effective in supporting Israel, being part of these organizations, lobbying on behalf of Israel, than actually lobbying from outside.